The offering of Sauria Isle. Darius stood before the towering iron gates of Sauria Isle, his breath hitching in the humid air. The golden ticket gripped in his hand felt strangely heavy, a jagged contrast to the oppressive silence of the island. He had won the ultimate prehistoric experience, a private tour of a legendary long-closed park, but the rusted hinges and overgrown ivy suggested that no one had been welcome here for a very long time. The main thoroughfare was a graveyard of ambition. Darius pushed through waist-high ferns that had reclaimed the asphalt. A welcome to the future sign lay face down in the mud, its once bright neon tubes shattered like bone. The jungle didn't just grow here, it seemed to consume, wrapping its emerald fingers around every bench and lamppost as if trying to choke the memory of man away. Inside the great hall, the air was thick, with the scent of salt and ancient dust. Shattered glass crunched under Darius's boots, the sound echoing too loudly in the hollow space. Above him, the fossilized skeleton of a long-necked titan hung by rusted cables. Its empty ribcage cast long, skeletal shadows across the floor, making it look as though the dead giant was reaching down to snatch him. A wet, rhythmic clicking sound echoed from the darkened mezzanine. Darius froze, the hair on his neck standing up. He swept his flashlight across the shadows, but the light only revealed peeling wallpaper and more decay. The island wasn't empty. It was breathing. A low, guttural rasp vibrated through the floorboards, a sound that didn't belong to the wind or the shifting foundations. Near a stagnant fountain, Darius found a sign of life that chilled him more than the silence. It wasn't a fossil. The mud was still oozing into a deep, three-toed depression in the earth. The attractions hadn't died out when the park was abandoned. They had simply stopped being watched. They had grown wild, hungry, and very, very real. From the shadows of a collapsed gift shop, a pair of slit pupils caught the glow of his flashlight. A creature, lean and covered in mangy, oil-slick feathers, stepped into the corridor. It hissed, a sound like steam escaping a pressurized pipe, and tilted its head with a sickening, bird-like twitch. This was no majestic wonder of science. It was a starving, prehistoric nightmare. Darius scrambled backward, his heart hammering against his ribs. He dove behind a rusted, overturned tour vehicle just as the creature leaped. He watched through the cracked window as the predator sniffed the air, its talons clicking against the asphalt. Tap, tap, tap. It was hunting him with a calculated patience that suggested it had done this to others before. Suddenly, the ground began to tremble with a rhythmic, bone-shaking thud. The smaller scavenger bolted into the brush, its predatory confidence replaced by sheer animal terror. From the canopy of the trees above, a massive, scarred head emerged. It was a titan of scale and shadow, an apex predator that had ruled this island for decades in the dark. Darius didn't wait to see more. He bolted, his lungs burning as he raced through a narrow maintenance tunnel. The walls were slick with black moss, and the smell of rot was overwhelming. He could hear the thunder of heavy footsteps shattering the trees behind him, a sound that felt like the world itself was collapsing under the weight of the beast. He reached the perimeter gate, gasping for air, his fingers clawing at the heavy chains. But the lock was new, gleaming and heavy. It had been bolted from the outside. As he turned back toward the jungle, dozens of glowing eyes ignited in the foliage. Darius finally understood the ultimate experience. He hadn't won a trip to a park. He had been delivered as a fresh offering.